In this video, I want to tackle one of the biggest financial challenges that a lot of us face, either living paycheck to paycheck or being in debt. Then there's the connection between not budgeting and having credit issues. For many of us, we did not grow up in households or schools where any of this was taught. So, in this video, let's break that cycle and learn how to create a budget. Make sure you follow me, grab pen and paper, download the budget template worksheet that comes with this video. It's in comments or see the link in my bio and watch until the end. Here's why budgeting is a must. Not having a budget in place is why many of us tend to overspend, live beyond our means, and then the next thing you know, we find ourselves racking up debt. And then the credit issues come into play. Without a budget, you're more likely to rely on credit to cover expenses that you can't afford to pay. Whether it's swiping a credit card for a fancy dinner or taking out a loan to buy a new car, that allure of easy credit, it can be hard to resist. But here's the thing, every swipe of that card or signature on that loan application adds up, and before you know it, you're now buried under a mountain of debt. And it's not just the debt itself, it's the impact it has on your credit score. Late payments, maxed out credit cards that are driving your credit utilization up, accounts and collections, all of that wreaks havoc on your credit score. And that makes it harder for you to qualify for loans, secure housing, or even get a job. It really is a vicious cycle that can feel impossible to escape. Hey, I'm speaking from experience. The way out starts with creating a budget. A budget will allow you to take control of your money, prioritize your expenses, and live within your means. And this will help you to break free from that cycle of debt. Now, it may not be easy and it won't happen overnight, but I can assure you that if you stay dedicated and disciplined to what I'm about to show you, it can help you turn your financial life around. I'm going to take the first step. I'm going to show you how to create a budget using my favorite budgeting method. It's called the zero-based budget. Now, I know you might be wondering, what exactly is a zero-based budget? I'll break it down for you. Think of your budget as a puzzle, with each dollar representing a puzzle piece. In a zero-based budget, your goal is to fit every single dollar into its rightful place. So you're leaving no money unaccounted for. Your income minus your expenses equals zero, hence the term zero-based. Now you might be thinking, well, why zero? Shouldn't I have some money left over? The beauty and simplicity of a zero-based budget is that it forces you to give every dollar a job, whether it's for bills, savings, debt payments, or even a little fun money. Every dollar has a purpose. So how does it work in practice? Now, I'm going to recommend that you get your last bank statement that covers 30 days and again, get some scratch paper, download this template. The first step in creating a zero-based budget is to determine your monthly income. You'll determine all of your sources of regular income, including your salary, side hustles, earnings, and any other money that comes in each month. Be sure to use your net income after taxes. If you have regular income, you can add up your paychecks within a month. Now, if you have irregular income, you can write down your minimum amount of income that you're sure you'll be making this month. So, for example, say you work from home doing bookkeeping and you make anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 a month. I would write down the $3,000 and you'll record that in the income section. And then section 2, you're starting to list your expenses. Start with the essentials like housing, utilities, transportation, debt payments. Every bill that you have, no matter how small, gets recorded. Your rent, your mortgage, your utility bills, your car payments. Then include the categories for saving and giving and discretionary spending. Don't forget any irregular expenses like annual subscriptions, pet supplies. For me, this is where my bank statements came in handy so that I could see what I spent in the last 30 days on some of these categories. And then I was able to come up with a budgeted amount that I will need to set. You might jot down the due dates of these expenses to the side of each category so that you can track when they're due and the amount due. Step 3, I would recommend setting aside a reasonable amount for groceries. And again, this is where I use my bank statement to go through the last 30 days of spending, and then I added up the money I spent on groceries. My spend rounded to the nearest dollar, equaling $450 a month. From that, I'm actually going to subtract 10% or $45 from this total and put this in my toiletries category. Going forward, when I grocery shop, I'm going to have my groceries rung up separate from toiletries. And by toiletries, I mean shampoo, conditioner, body soap, and toothpaste. Now, I don't go to the grocery store without a list because that list helps me to stay on track with what I need and don't need to be putting in my shopping cart. When it comes to purchases that you make infrequently, like haircuts, oil changes, vehicle registration, clothes, and so forth, I would say determine how much you spend in a year on these items and then divide those totals by 12 months so that you have an idea of how much to put aside or budget for these items. And here's an optional step. If you're using this template, look at the items that have the envelope icon. You can grab envelopes and label them: groceries, restaurants, clothes, toiletries, so that at the beginning of the month, you'll take the money that you've budgeted for these items and put it in your envelopes. So let's say you've budgeted $200 for groceries. You take $200 in cash and put that in your groceries envelope. When you go to the store, you only take that envelope with you. No credit cards, no debit cards, just cash. And when the cash runs out, that's it. You're done spending in that category for the month. Okay, maybe you might need a little bit more than $200 in cash, but you get what I'm saying. For this template, the items that you see envelopes next to, you'll want to stop using your debit and definitely stop using your credit card to pay for these items and start using cash. There is just something incredibly powerful about using cash. It's tangible, it's real. When you're handing over those bills at the checkout counter, you feel the weight of your spending in a way that you just don't with plastic. Plus, the envelope system can help you stay disciplined and avoid overspending. When you're limited to the cash in your envelope, you're forced to prioritize your spending and make conscious choices about where your money is going to go. In my opinion, it's a simple and effective way to control your finances and stick to your budget. Now, I'll admit the envelope system, it isn't for everyone. It took me a minute to get the hang of it. It does require discipline and commitment, but you've got this. If you're serious about getting your finances in order and breaking free from the cycle of debt, I highly recommend giving it a try. Step 4, assigning every dollar a job. This is the heart of the zero-based budget, where you're going to assign every dollar of your income to a specific category until your income minus your expenses equals zero. This means you're telling your money exactly where to go instead of wondering where it went. What if you don't have anything left after bills and necessities? Well, you'll go on to step 5. Some of you may need to adjust as needed, and I know I needed to adjust until I got it down to zero. If your expenses exceed your income, you'll need to make adjustments. Go back to your list of bills and necessities and figure out how you can reduce or even cancel things. You may have to cancel subscriptions, cable, and that's okay. Short-term sacrifice equals long-term gains. Look for areas where you can cut back. For me, it was dining out less frequently and finding ways to reduce my utility bills, plus canceling subscriptions. Now, you may need to consider ways to increase your income, like picking up a side hustle or negotiating a raise at work. Selling things on the Facebook Marketplace is a great option. It's what I did. I went through my house, I sorted through things I wasn't using. Some things were still brand new in the box. I would list them and sell them for cash. My hours for meeting up were 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and always at a safe place like a gas station. We have Quick Trips where I live, or a McDonald's. Other online places for selling include eBay and OfferUp. Step 6 involves tracking your spending. So now that you've created your zero-based budget, it's essential to track your spending to make sure that you're sticking to your plan. You want to keep a record of every dollar you spend and compare it to your budget regularly. This will help you identify any areas where you're overspending and you can make adjustments as needed. Step 7 is staying disciplined and committed to your budget. I like to journal. So one of the things I do to make sure that I keep on track with what's going on in my actual bank account is to log into it every Sunday and review it against any discrepancies from my budget. And then I jot that down on paper and put this all in my budget binder. Now, this may take some time to get the hang of, but stick with it. So, creating a zero-based budget on paper, it may seem old-fashioned in today's digital age, but I just think there's something incredibly empowering about seeing your financial plan laid out in front of you. If you need accountability, then please see the link in my bio or comments and come join my private credit repair and budgeting community. Give this a try and watch as you take control of your money and your future. So, until next time, take care and let's keep mastering our finances.